I made a birthday cake.
Hey, everybody.
Indominus Rex.
Okay, y'all are ready. So, today we're going to talk about triangles and quadrilaterals. I was going to split this up into 2 lessons, but I think just 1 lesson is fine. So, first we're going to talk about triangles, and I will put our anchor chart in the comments that we use.
Jelly donuts.
Stop. And we'll talk about those. So the first triangle I'm going to talk about is an equilateral triangle. Okay? So can you make a triangle on your board?
Yes. Which
All
board?
right. Your geo board is fine. And I'm trying to pull up my chart I made so I can look at it so I don't forget any of our triangles.
Triangles.
Let me see if I can find it. All right, y'all show me. So triangles are split by sides and angles, okay? So if you are classifying a triangle by its side, then we have equilateral. So what do you think equilateral means?
Same side.
Equal. All sides are equal. That would be equilateral. So that would be something like all the sides are 2 inches on this triangle. Okay. Another way that you can classify these is called isosceles. Have you heard of that, Hatch? Okay. Now, most of the time, when we see an isosceles triangle, it looks kind of like this. But isosceles means it has 2 equal sides. So equilateral has 3 equal sides. Isosceles has 2 equal sides. And our last one is called a scalene, which is fun to say. Y'all say scalene.
Scalene.
Say it with some conviction.
Scalene.
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 All right. Scalene has no equal sides. So they're all going to be different. Okay?
Like this.
Put it down. All right. So then we can talk about sides and classify them by their angles. Sometimes you'll only classify by sides or only classify by angles, and sometimes it will be both. So it'll say it's equilateral and acute. So when we talked about our angles the other day, that helps us know the differences in our triangles. And really, learning about triangles isn't something we have to do in 5th grade, but it's interesting. You talk about triangles in 6th grade, and I always like to do it because I think it's fun. So acute triangles means, so see if you can make one. An acute triangle means all the angles are acute. They're all.
This is this.
But
This one is acute.
But is that a triangle?
No.
Right. So they all have to be acute angles to be an acute triangle. So in this example, when we did the sides, that could be equilateral and acute. You can tell that those are all acute angles. They're all less than 90. All right. If I have a right triangle, what do you think that means, Hatch, if it's a right triangle?
That means that all the sides are equal. That they have right angles? No.
Not all of them, because think about it. Could you make all of them right angles?
No.
It means you have 1 right angle. Most of the time we see our right triangles look like this. Good job. All right.
Wait, I made a right triangle.
Very good. Show it to our friends.
Hello.
All right. Then our last one is obtuse. Now we talked about these angles. What does obtuse angle mean?
It means that it's a big angle.
Okay, bigger than
Acute.
and
Bigger than 90.
Yeah. So an obtuse, just like right, is going to have 1 angle that's greater than 90. Okay? So you've got your triangles listed by their angles and by their sides. And so you can try and draw some that do these. You can try and look around in your house outside and see if you see triangles and see if you can classify them by their sides and by their angles.
Is that acute or obtuse?
All right, let's look at Hatch's. He said, is this acute or obtuse? Now, I know that these two angles down here are acute. Just because we see it like this doesn't mean we have to keep it. So if I turned it on its side, that is most definitely what kind of angle?
Obtuse.
Right here. What kind of angle is that?
A right.
It's a right angle. So don't be afraid to turn your papers sometimes, because we might think that it's obtuse, but if we turn it, we can absolutely see that it's a right. So this would be a right, and it looks like probably isosceles, because I think these two sides are equal and that one's longer. Okay. What do you think? How could we classify this triangle? By its sides, do you think it's equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? Do you think all the sides are equal?
Scalene.
Or so all the sides are different, you think?
No, not all the sides.
When you've got a board, you can kind of count. See, this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 apart. So they're all the same. And then what would it be by angles? Would it be acute, right, or obtuse?
Acute.
Acute. What about this triangle? First, equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? All the sides, are they equal? Are some of them equal, or none of them equal?
Isosceles.
Which two are equal? Isosceles means two are equal.
I meant scaling.
Yeah, none of these are equal.
I meant scaling. I thought that
It's
one was
okay.
isosceles.
What would it be by angles? Acute, right, or obtuse?
Acute, right, or obtuse? Obtuse.
Yeah, because right here, this angle is obtuse. If it has one obtuse, that means it's an obtuse triangle. Okay, so take some time today, look around at some triangles and see what you can do. Oh, let me see what time we're working with. Good. All right, we're going to quickly look at quadrilaterals. Y'all like quadrilaterals?
Yeah.
All right. There are lots of kinds of quadrilaterals. What does a quadrilateral mean? It is a... You keep breaking my rubber bands. A quadrilateral is a... Here, just take this one. Is a polygon that has what?
4 sides.
4 sides. There are a lot of quadrilaterals. Hat showed us some earlier.
I'm going to do this one.
Trying to pull my... Okay, show us what you got. All right, what would you think this is?
Oh, a square and a, what's it called?
Rhombus?
Yeah, a rhombus.
Okay, so we're going to talk about all of these, and I have your, an anchor chart for you to look at. Can't find my, my sheet right now. It's on my computer.
This looks like a hat. This is like a hat.
No, not polygons.
I'm only done.
All right, so I'm gonna draw them really quick. So of course we know square, and we know a square, like we talked about earlier, has 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. All right, a rectangle is different from a square because why? And you can make these while we're rectangle has 4 right angles like we talked about, but it does not have 4 equal sides.
No.
So when we're talking about quadrilaterals, they're going to ask you questions, and you're going to have to be able to answer them as far as their sides and their angles. So it's important to know that. These do not have 4 equal sides. How many pairs of parallel sides do these have, though? Good job, Blade.
Huh?
How many pairs of parallel sides?
2.
2 pairs. Just like you have a pair of shoes, that would mean 2 shoes.
Because they go, because these will never cross and these will never cross.
Now this one is one that I say is a lot like a rectangle. Do you know what it's called?
Trapezoid.
Mm-mm.
No,
This is called a parallelogram.
Oh yeah. I get parallelograms and trapezoids mixed
So a
up.
parallelogram, I always say, kind of looks like a sideways rectangle.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good. And it has 2 pairs of parallel sides. That's what makes it a parallelogram. It just has to have 2 pairs of parallel sides. So we can call a rectangle a parallelogram because it has what it takes to be a parallelogram. All right. Also, my little sideways friend right here that kind of looks like a square. But what's it called? You said it a while ago?
Trapezoid.
Rhombus.
Rhombus.
Now a rhombus also has 2 pairs of parallel sides, but how's it different from a square? How is a rhombus, look Lainey, how's a rhombus different from a square?
Because it's leaning over and that one's straight.
So since this one has straight lines, what kind of does this have the same kind of angles?
No. No.
A square has to have right angles. A rhombus does not. But a rhombus just has to have 2 pairs of parallel sides and all of its sides are equal. So technically, stop Lainey, this square is a rhombus because it does everything a rhombus has to do. A rhombus has to have 4 equal sides and it has to have 2 pairs of parallel lines.
Isn't this a rhombus? Mama, isn't this a rhombus? Oh.
Because it has to have how many sides? 4. Okay. Hatch has been talking about a trapezoid. Put it back. So a trapezoid also has 4 sides, but what did we say? It only has 1 pair of parallel lines. Okay. So those are our main ones. Trapezoid. Again, just like with
Trapezoid.
just like with triangles, go outside, try to make some, draw some, chalk, rubber bands, anything to practice those, and I will put the anchor charts in there for you to have something to refer to. All right, have a good day.